I'm calling this section of the course Design Stuff because we're going to look at the things that can offer you design elements as you're putting your website together. So the things we'll look at in a little bit more detail are themes, widgets, including custom widgets, in other words, how you can put widgets on certain sections of your site and not other sections. We're going to look at sidebars, and again we're going to look at custom sidebars, how you can create custom sidebars for different areas of your site. So for example, if you have a bicycle website and you have a specific section on racing bikes, then you can have a racing bike sidebar that only appears on the racing bike parts of the website that highlight things to do with racing bikes. We're going to look at page builders, and we're going to look at Gutenberg, which is the new page builder in WordPress. And I'm also going to look at Elementor, which is one of the older page builders that a lot of people turned to before Gutenberg came out. And a lot of people who used Elementor in those days are still using Elementor because it is a lot more powerful than Gutenberg currently is. We're also going to look at some plugins that I think are important when you're designing a website. So things like Google Maps. How do you put a Google map on your About Us page, for example, using the reCAPTCHA for your forms and so on. So basically anything that I think is important for you to take your WordPress website design to the next level. I've been teaching WordPress now for well over a decade, and one of the topics that I get asked about more than anything else is WordPress themes. A lot of people say, I'm building a site on photography, which theme should I use? Or I'm an author, which theme should I use? Well, it's not that easy to answer because themes are very personal and you will find a theme that best suits your needs. Having said that though, there are some general tips and guidelines I would like to offer to help you with your choice. That's what this lecture is all about. Themes can be broken up into two major categories, free themes and paid themes. You'll obviously have an idea in your head which of those you want to go with. If your website is going to go with a free theme, then the very best place to find free themes is in the theme repository, because these are all checked for malware and you know that you're getting a safe theme. You can either search Google for WordPress themes and you'll find the repository there, or if you are logged into your dashboard, go to themes from the appearance menu and then add new, and you'll be taken to the themes repository. If you know what the theme is called you're looking for, you can actually search for it, or you can look through the different tabs up here. We've got featured themes that are worth looking at. We've got popular themes. This is often a good place to start because you know that people are using these themes and they're using them for good reason. They are, of course, quality themes. We've also got the latest themes to be released, which are worth having a look through, but probably my favorite of all of these is the feature filter, because it will help you to find layouts that are similar to what you have in mind. Let's say we're doing a food and drink website, then you can check that and let's just apply the filter and we should get themes back which are recommended for that type of site, foodie type images. So we can edit the filters, go back and have a look at the other things we've got available to us. We've got features and we've got layouts. Let's look at the layout first. If you know that you want a main column for your content and just one sidebar, then we're looking at these options down here. You can either have a left sidebar or a right sidebar, and that will help you choose those. Then we've got the features, and these are design features built into the themes that you want to have. For example, I know from teaching over the years that a lot of students want to have a custom logo or custom header, so you can actually put that in there. You might want featured images on your archive pages, like your category pages, a featured image with a little bit of text to explain what the article's about. Or you might want to have a theme that has footer widgets. So you can select your options there, just apply the filters, and you will be shown all of those themes that apply. There's only one bit of advice I'd like to give you if you're using a free theme, and that is to make sure there are no links built into the theme. These are typically or have typically been put in the footer area that says something like designed by, and then there's a link there to the designer's website. Make sure the theme that you use does not have that, free or paid. If there is a link in there, and some designers do put it in there, but you can easily remove it. Always remove that link, don't leave it in there. It can cause you problems with the search engines because it's basically a link to a site that you don't endorse, and it'll be on every page of your site if it's in the footer as well. So that's the only check that I would make if you're going to use a free theme. This incidentally isn't a free theme. This is built with Elementor, which we will have a look at a little bit later in the course. So what about paid themes then? How do you find a theme that will fit what you're hoping to build with your website? Well, the best advice is to go over to Google and to do a search. There are lots of places where you can buy themes. And if you're building a particular type of theme, then go to Google and search for, let's say you're building a photographer website. Just type photography, WordPress theme, press return, and you're going to get some suggestions. Look, 80 plus best photography themes. It's over at Template Monster, which is a website that sells lots and lots of different themes. You've got Theme Forest is another one of those websites that we'll have a look at in a moment that offers lots and lots of different themes. But just by searching photography WordPress theme, you see we have loads and loads of potential themes for your site. What else could we do? Well, one of the things I get asked about a lot is portfolio WordPress themes. Again, just search Google portfolio WordPress themes and have a look at what's available. WordPress portfolio themes, 35 plus best portfolio WordPress themes, and so on. The list goes on and on and on. Let's try a couple more of these. Let's say you're an author and you want to have an author website. I know there is actually a WordPress theme called Author WordPress theme. There it is, just there. Author WordPress theme. 29 best WordPress themes for authors. 15 plus WordPress themes for authors. Let's have a look at just one more. Another one I get asked a lot about is WordPress themes for WooCommerce. And here we are, responsive WooCommerce themes, 48 best WooCommerce WordPress themes, 30 plus, and so on. So it is easy to be able to narrow down your search. Yes, you're going to have to click in and you're going to have to go and you're going to have to try these out. But you know how easy it is to install a theme, check it out, and then uninstall it if you don't like it. In your search for a theme, there are certain sites that you're probably going to come across. So I want to just highlight those, some of the most popular themes. And this first one is StudioPress. StudioPress produces something called the Genesis Framework. And what this means is you can buy the framework package and then you can buy child themes that work with the Genesis Framework. So let's click on Shop for Themes at the top. And you'll see that there are loads and loads of Genesis themes. To use one of these child themes, you know that for a child theme to exist, there has to be a parent theme. That's what the Genesis Framework is. So you have to install the Genesis Framework and then you can install one of these child themes on top. Genesis Framework on its own will work. You don't have to have a child theme. You can just use Genesis Framework. But the good thing is if you want to buy Genesis Framework, then you can easily create lots and lots of different type of websites just by buying a child theme for each one of them. So that's one site you're probably going to come across. If you are a WordPress designer, what you can do is you can actually pay for a package. I think this is it, Pro Plus, where you get all of the themes included in your purchase and you can use them on client sites, I believe, as well. I bought the equivalent of Pro Plus many years ago, and so I've got full access to all of the StudioPress built child themes. That's the first one. The next one that is quite common and popular is this theme, Avada or Avada or however you pronounce it. This is a big best-selling theme. I actually did buy it, but I found it a little bit confusing to customize it, so I've never actually used it on any website. But it is a common one, so if you are willing to learn how to use it, that could be a good one. The next one is Astra, and Astra has a free version and then there is a paid version. Astra is really popular for people who are using Elementor Page Builder. And in fact, the people who build Astra have released a number of add-ons for Elementor. But that is a popular one for Elementor users, also for WooCommerce users. The next one is Divi Builder, and this is quite complex. It can actually help you design your sites, and it is really popular. I looked at this before I bought Elementor, but the thing about it that I didn't like was it uses a lot of shortcodes. So if you start programming your site in Divi and then you decide you don't want to use Divi anymore, you want to switch to a different theme, then you lose all the formatting, you lose a lot of stuff. The shortcodes all over the place and it's a bit of a mess. So for me, buying Divi would have been essentially saying that's the only theme I'm ever going to include on this website ever again, because it would be too much hassle to remove it. There are a lot of people using Divi, a lot of people love it, just not for me. The one that I use a lot more now is Elementor. There is a free version of Elementor. Elementor is a page builder, but if you buy the Pro version, it also has elements of website design. So, for example, this website of mine is built in Elementor, and I've pretty much designed it as I want to, fairly simple. But if I click on one of the internal pages, you can see that at the top we have the featured image, my picture inside a little circle, Google Maps, and then we have a photo gallery. So this was designed using Elementor, so it's more than just a page builder if you buy the Pro version. In the free version, it is, I believe, just a page builder, but that's one we'll have a look at later in the course. The next site I want to show you is Theme Forest, and Theme Forest provides lots and lots of different WordPress themes that you can search for there, or you can have a look and see if there's anything down here that fits the type of site you're building. Let's say you're building a wedding site, and you've got tags here which you could even refine them even further. You've got reviews there, the number of sales, and you can click in to preview what these themes look like. So that is a good place to also go and have a look for themes. The final place here is Template Monster, which we did mention earlier as well. And you can see we've got categorization of the themes down here. Let's suppose we're going to do the photography site, photography templates and themes. There we have a whole category, design and photography, photographer portfolio themes, and then we have a lot of portfolio themes down there for photographers. So it is quite easy to have a look and find themes for almost any topic that you want to build on. One thing I would suggest you do, whether you're using a free theme or a paid theme, make sure it has active support and look at the documentation. Does it come with documentation? Because every theme is different and you are going to need to go through documentation to work out how to do various things with it. The other thing I would suggest you do, install it on your site and then run your site through GTmetrix and look for elements in GTmetrix which are slow loading and see if they're associated with the theme. You need a theme that loads quickly, so that is the other thing to look at when you're buying a theme. When you add widgets to an area on your website, they typically appear throughout the whole website in those areas. So for example, in this website, I've got a sidebar and we've got search, navigation menu, recent posts, and another navigation menu. These widgets are going to appear on every page of the website that shows the sidebar. If I go over to the website and have a look, you can see that this sidebar is going to be the same for every single page on the site. On this particular site, I've got two categories. I've got probiotics and prebiotics, which are different things. If I wanted to sell probiotics and I wanted to sell prebiotics, then wouldn't it be nice if I could put an advert in the sidebar to sell probiotics only on those pages that are in the probiotics category? In the prebiotics category, you wouldn't see that advertisement. You would see a different advertisement for the prebiotics that I'm selling. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to do that using Dynamic Widgets. Dynamic Widgets is a plugin that will allow you to specify where the widgets show on your website. So let's head on over to the dashboard and I'm going to go to Plugins, Add New, and we're going to search for Dynamic Widgets. And this is the one that we're talking about, by Curl, Q-U-R-L. You can see a lot of active installs, good reviews, last updated 4 months ago. Let's install it. Once installed, we can activate and we should now have dynamic widgets in here. For settings, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to the Appearance widget screen and we're going to have a look at the widgets, because now when you open up a widget, you'll see that we've got dynamic widgets static. That static means it's going to appear on every single page, but we can edit that by clicking on the word static and then choosing where we're going to put this widget on the site. Let me just go back to the previous screen again, and I'm going to add a text widget, and I'm going to call it, I'm going to put it at the top so we can see it. I'm going to call it probiotics. Okay, for sale probiotics. Now, if I save that as it is, then we go over to the website and load it, you'll see that we have that widget on every page. We have it on the probiotics page, we have it on the prebiotics page, we even have it on the home page. What I want to do is put that only on the probiotics sidebar. Let's just close that down, and I'm going to add another widget, and I'm going to call this one prebiotics. And we'll just close that up. Now, as you guess, we have the probiotics and the prebiotics on every single page. Let's go back to the widget area, and we're going to choose the probiotics first and click the static link so we can start to make changes. What we have at the bottom are the various areas on your site where you can show or hide widgets. So for example, if I click on role, this would allow me to show or hide widgets based on the role of the person who's logged in. We can also specify dates, so if we only wanted a widget in a specific date range, then we could enter the dates there and that widget would only show. The ones we're looking for are down a little bit further. We're looking for single posts, but also front page. We want to set this to not show on the front page. In fact, we want to set this to not show on any page except the posts that are in the probiotic category, and possibly the category page for probiotic as well. I'll show you what that means in a minute. So essentially we want to set all of these to no first, and then we want to enable it on certain pages. So click on this link, set all options to no. You get a little warning there that says don't forget to make changes, otherwise you'll receive an error when saving. The changes refer to down here. So let's go in and go to single posts and say, right, show widget default on single posts, no, except we do want to show it on probiotics, and if there's any subcategories in probiotics, we'll show it on there as well. Let's save that, and let's go back to the website and click on the refresh button. We're in the prebiotic category. Let's click on refresh, and you see the probiotics has now disappeared. If I click on the probiotics, we still don't have the probiotics here, and that's because this is a category page that we're on. If I click onto a post in the probiotics section, we do see the probiotics appearing, but it's not yet showing on the category page. So let's go back, and we're going to edit this again. It now says dynamic because it's being updated according to what we've chosen where we want the widget to appear. So we'll click on the dynamic, and we'll go down. You can see there's now little ticks there. That means there are rules associated with each of those. I'm going to click category pages. Show widget on category pages by default. No, that's set correct, but we do want it to show on probiotics and probiotic child category pages. So let's click on save, go back to our website and refresh. We are now in the probiotics category, and we have the probiotics widget being shown. Click through to probiotic post, and we have the widget being shown. If we go over to prebiotics, it's not shown. If we go to a prebiotic post, it's not shown. If we go to the home page, it's not shown. So it's now only being shown on probiotic posts and the category page. Let's go back and repeat that for the prebiotics. So this is currently static. Let's change that. We want to set all options to no. Single posts, we want to make exceptions of the prebiotics because we want it to appear there. And we'll also go down to the category page while we're here and say we also want it shown on the prebiotic category pages, and click on save. Let's go back. We'll start with the home page first. Both widgets have disappeared. Probiotics page, we now have probiotics widget. Probiotics post, we have probiotics up there. Let's go to prebiotics category page. We now have the prebiotics widget. And if we go to a post in the prebiotics, we have the prebiotics there. If we go to an About Us page, let's say, it's not there. That's a full width anyway, so that's not showing. But this particular page here, it's not showing because it's not in the prebiotics or the probiotics category, so that widget is not showing. So that is how you can show or hide widgets depending on which area of the website you're in. And as you've seen, you have a lot more options here than the ones I've just shown you. You can have, for example, a widget shown or hidden on the front page. If you want a widget that's only shown on the home page, then you can use that option there. You can also do it on tag pages, which is quite useful if you want to show or hide widgets on tag pages, and of course a search page. Those are probably the most useful ones, but you do have a lot more scope here for fine-tuning your site. So you can choose to show a widget on desktop or mobile, for example. I'm going to leave you to explore the rest of that, because in the next video we're going to look at something that perhaps is a little bit more comprehensive, and it will allow you to make much more customized, complex sidebars for different areas of your site, rather than just relying on placing widgets in certain sections. In the last video we looked at dynamic widgets, and that's great if you just want to do a few minor changes to your sidebars in different areas of your site. But if you want to make drastically different sidebars for different areas of your site, then it's a little bit complex to do that with dynamic widgets, and a better solution is to create whole sidebars that you can then plug and play into different areas. Fortunately, there are some plugins that will allow you to do this. So let's go to Plugins, Add New, and I'm going to type in Custom Sidebars. The first one here, Custom Sidebars Dynamic Widget Area, is a great plugin. It's got 200,000 active installs, it's got good reviews, and it was updated a month ago. But the one that I'm used to using is this one, Content Aware Sidebars Unlimited Widget Areas. It's got excellent reviews. In fact, the review score is 5 out of 5 compared to 4.5 with that one. It has fewer installs and it was updated 4 months ago, but that's the one we're going to have a look at in this course. By all means, if you want to have a look at that other one, then do that. It is a good plugin as well. Once it's installed, I'm going to click on Activate, and then we'll get a message saying, do you want to share usage data with them? I'm going to click on Skip, and we'll be taken into the sidebar settings where we can add new sidebars and manage widgets. The very first time you click Add New, you'll probably get, yes, here we go, a tutorial, 60-second tutorial on how to use this plugin. I suggest you go through it. I've cancelled that tutorial because I want to show you how to set one up from scratch. So let's click on the Add New button, and I'm going to give it a title because I'm going to create a sidebar for the probiotics section of my website. And I'm going to click on Create before I've done anything. And I'm going to go back to Manage Widgets. I'm going to come back in and sort out the details of it later. But for now, you can see here we've got the probiotics sidebars being added. So we've now got 4 different widget areas on this particular theme. From here I could actually even create a new sidebar if I wanted, but this is the one I want to work on. And all I'm going to do for now, I'm going to just add a text widget as a placeholder, and we're going to save that. Okay, that's done. So I could actually put anything in here, any widgets, any code that I wanted to build up the sidebar for my probiotics section on the site. Let's go back to the Content Aware section where we can see our sidebar. So we've created the sidebar, but we haven't actually said anything yet about where we want it to appear. So I'm going to click back on it to edit this. And we can edit this in the conditions, which basically mean these are the conditions that have to be true if this sidebar is going to display. We've got 2 options here. We can select from the conditions drop down, or you can use these quick add. And one that would be useful here is posts in category, because we want this sidebar to appear on posts in the probiotic category. But I want to show you how to do it manually instead. So let's click on the conditions, and I'm going to say I want it to appear on blog posts. But it's not just blog posts. I want it to appear on blog posts, and I also want it to appear only if it's in the probiotic section. So I want to select another condition from here, categories. And as you can see there now, it says the condition is all posts and pages and the particular category is true. We haven't selected a category there, so at the moment nothing's changed. This sidebar will appear on all posts in all categories because that's all true. Let's select the probiotic category. Okay, now this will appear on only if it's a blog post and it's in the probiotics category. I could be even more specific than that and create a sidebar for a specific post if I wanted to. I could select a post here and say show it only on that post, but I don't. I want it all posts in the probiotic category. So let's save that. So we've designed the sidebar, we've said where we want it to appear. The next thing is to say how we want it to appear. And that makes sense if you look at the Actions tab, because how do you want to display it? You can replace the existing sidebar, which is what we want to do, or you could merge the sidebars. If you replace it, then the sidebar that is the default sidebar won't be shown. If you click merge, then you've got an option down here, where do you want to merge it? And you can merge it, you can put your new sidebar at the top or at the bottom. I want to replace the existing sidebar, and I'm targeting this widget area called sidebar. If we go over and have a look at the widgets, you can see we've got sidebar, content bottom 2. I want to replace this one, so let's go back and select target sidebar is that one, and I'm going to click on save. Let's go back to the website. I'm going to start on the home page. Nothing's changed. Let's go into Pre-Bartics. Nothing's changed. Pro-Bartics. This is a category page, remember. Let's click onto a Pro-Bartic post, and you can see it's now using my sidebar from the Pro-Bartics post. Let's just go to a different Pro-Bartic post. Here's another one here. And again, the new sidebar is showing on there. So the only thing we haven't got yet is the new sidebar on the Pro-Bartics category page. That's what we need to do next. So let's go back to our conditions again. And we said we want it on all posts in the Pro-Bartics category, but we also want it on the categories page. So the other thing that could be true is the category is Pro-Bartics. Let's select categories and Pro-Bartics from the list. And if we look at the logic here now, we've got two conditions. It will show on all posts and pages in the Pro-Bartics category, or it will show on the Pro-Bartics category. So let's save that, go back to the website and start off on the home page. We'll go to Pre-Bartics first, it doesn't show there. Pro-Bartics, it now shows there properly, as well as on the Pro-Bartics posts. Let's go back to the settings of the plugin, because there are other things you can do as well. We've seen the actions, but look at the schedule. You can actually schedule for a sidebar to be active on specific dates. How useful is that? And if you are a pro user, because this is the free version that we're using, if you upgrade to the pro version, you can actually schedule it by time as well. There are some design options if you want to explore those. We're not going to look at those right now. And then there is an order there, which again, I'm not going to look at. Let's just try one other thing. Rather than replace, let's try a merge, and we'll merge it, merge position bottom. So let's click on save. And let's go back to the web page. Now remember, we've decided to merge sidebars. So if I click refresh, we've got the old traditional sidebar and then the new one underneath. And we can flip the order of those, as simple as that. So if you wanted to, if that was your advertisement and you wanted it at the top, then when you merge it, you put that one at the top, and there we are. So you can imagine you can create quite complex sidebars designed for specific areas of your website, and you can put in all the relevant content to the specific area of the website, and your website is going to be truly dynamic. The visitors to your site will like it, and Google will like it, because Google likes this type of customization, that the site has been built with the visitor in mind, giving the visitor the maximum value on their visit. If you want to go in and make changes to your sidebars, you can go into the sidebar area, click on the sidebar you want to change, and then we can go in and click on this Manage Widget button, and that will take us back into the editor, where we could then go in and add more widgets or more content to that sidebar. And we have this little set of icons up here. This first one is a pro feature for widget revisions. This one is to edit the sidebar conditions, which takes us back to this screen. The next one allows us to schedule the sidebar, and it takes us back to this tab. Then we have the design, which takes us to the design tab. And then finally we have the edit sidebar, which takes us back here where we can edit the conditions as well. So that's a really powerful plugin to modify sidebars and to create custom sidebars so that different areas of your site provide the best possible content to your visitor. In this video, I want to show you how to create jump links. A jump link is basically a link that will jump to another section of the page. So for this demonstration, I'm going to create a little menu at the top here that has heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and then link those items to the specific heading. So if you click on heading 5, it will jump down to the heading 5 section. So let's go into the editor and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a block, and it'll be a paragraph block, and I'm going to say heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and I'm going to align this centrally. And what we now need to do is link each of these menu items with the corresponding header. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give these headers something called an ID, and we can do that by clicking on the header, going over to the block settings and opening the advanced tag. We're going to go to the HTML anchor, and I'm going to put H1 for that one. Let's go down to the next one, and in this one I'm going to put H2, in this one H3, in this one H4, and then in the final one H5. So those are all complete. Let's go back up to the menu. Now I need to link the menu item with each heading. So I'm going to highlight the menu, click on the link, and then I'm going to put hash H1 and save that. Let's go to the next one. Link hash H2. Link that one to hash H3. The next menu item to, you guessed it, hash H4. And the final menu heading hash hash H5. And let's save that, and we'll update. Let's go back to the page and refresh it, and you can see we have the menus at the top. Let's click on H4, heading 4. You can see we've jumped down to the heading 4 section. Click on H5, jump down to the heading 5 section. And so that works perfectly. One of the nice things though is that you can grab the URLs for these jump links. So let's say for heading 5, and copy the URL. It's basically the page URL / hash and then the ID, which is H5. I can copy that URL and then I can link to it from any page on the website. Let's go in, and what we'll do is I'll just go in and edit this post and just add in a little bit more information here. Okay, you can read more about heading 5 here, and I can hyperlink that, and I can use the link, which is the URL followed by hash H5, and update this page. And let's go over and view it, and then you can see that I'm on a different web page, and I can link to heading 5 area of that other page we created quite easily, and it's jumped down automatically to that. Where that can be useful, and where I've used it, is where I have a page that lists a number of affiliate products, and I might have an affiliate product, let's say for IBS, and I would link that word IBS to that particular part of the page that is selling that IBS product. And so you can use jump links not just within the page itself, but across your entire site as well.